Okay, guys, so here we go. This is my first video. April 6th, 2025 is today's date. I'm going to be doing a turkey vest dump. Just show you all what I like to use. Um, like I said in my introduction video, I've been turkey hunting probably I'm guessing about 5 years now. I've had some really close experiences. Um, one, one in particular, I was with my uncle, and he's a very good turkey hunter, and we heard this bird gobbling, and he called. We got there, got set up and everything. We was probably about 70 yards from this tree, roosted. Uh, anyways, he was gobbling. He was just hammering over there in that tree. Uh, my uncle, he called to him and called to him, and whenever it came time to fly down, my uncle, he done that fly down cackle, and then he waved his hat, like everybody does, to make the sound of the turkey flying down. Well, eventually, when that bird, excuse me, I'm sick, by the way. I got, our pollen count's ridiculous, so, but that's why I keep coughing. But that bird flew down and walked right to us, didn't make a sound. And when that turkey got over there, it was still kind of dark, and I couldn't see a beard, I couldn't see the color of his head, nothing like that. And my uncle said, "Shoot him." And I said, "It's a hen." And what I heard him say was, "Oh, it's a hen." And I said, "Yes, it's a hen." He said, "Oh, it's a hen." Well, come to find out, now this turkey's standing at like 15 yards. Come to find out, he was saying, "No, it's not a hen." And I was saying, "Yes, it's a hen." And he was saying, "No, it's not a hen." Anyway, turned out that turkey wasn't no hen. Uh, and and I missed my chance at my first bird. Looking back at it though, me and him, we aggravated each other about that hunt so much that it's a lot of memories, and I'm kind of glad it happened the way it did, because that's kind of how I am. I like to make people laugh. Uh, but he did. He was saying, "No, it's not a hen." And then whenever that bird was gone, he was like, "Son, them gobblers ain't the hens ain't going to have a head that color and a rope daggum dragging the ground hanging off her chest." And I was just, anyways, it was just funny. So I kept going back by myself, because he's real busy. He was real busy with work and stuff, and I ended up going back by myself and set up about on the other side of where we set up, on a fence line, because that bird, he'd come out and he'd walk through the woods, short distance, and he'd go out into the field like most turkey like to do early in the morning. Well, this morning, no, this was an evening hunt. I was hunting and coming back to the roost. That's what it was. I got out there and got set up, and it wasn't no sooner than my butt hit the ground. I see this turkey about 150, 200 yards away in a field in a cow pasture. And he's coming right to me. The only thing is, when I sat down, I didn't think about this, but he was coming from my right. Well, I'm a right handed shooter, so that means that I'd have to literally contort my body all the way around. Well, my dad is a left handed shooter, and I've practiced left handed, pretty good bit on birds, flying birds. And I felt confident enough I could kill him left handed when he got there. Well, they come on a beeline to me, and I kid you not when I say this turkey got 6 yards. But before he was there, I was trying to pull my gun up to shoot him, and I just couldn't. I was tugging on it, and I couldn't get it up, and I thought it was just nerves. And I was like, "Man, what's going on with me?" Well, that's he's probably at 20 yards when I'm trying to pull my gun up, and he kept getting closer and closer, and I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get my gun up, thinking it's nerves, you know. And when he was 6 yards away, I was like, okay, I'm just going to yank this gun up and I'm going to shoot him when he's trying to run away right in the head because I can get on him before about 20 yards probably. So I yanked, and when I yanked, my gun went right back down. That turkey turned and ran off. Well, I got to looking. I was so mad, and I couldn't figure it out. I kept trying to yank as he's running off. I finally looked down. My BB was hung on the bottom strand of barbed wire. So I had a second chance to kill that same turkey, and I didn't call at him or nothing. He was just coming. But I had a second chance at that turkey, and that turkey got away from me. Memories I'll never forget. You know, that was my first time turkey hunting by myself, and actually having a bird, you know, come up close to me. Other than a hen, I've had hens come up close to me. That was the first time I've had a gobbler come up, and I could have shot it by myself. But anyways, that's two of my memories that I'll never forget. So, but anyways, on to this turkey dump. I'm gonna get the big stuff out of the way first. Okay. Well, a couple of the big things. First of all, when I'm going turkey hunting, if it's private land and I know where I'm at and I know that, you know, there's quite a bit of people that live right around me that I can hunt their property, and there's several turkey on it. But if I don't know what's going on there and I just need a cell cam and just kind of watch for me, you know, I'll take this cell camera right here. Now this is a Stealth Cam 360. I love this camera. I do not love the price. It is really expensive. However, I was gifted this for Christmas. Um, and as you'll see, I don't buy myself a lot of stuff. A lot of this stuff is Christmas stuff from my wife. Uh, some of it from other people. But I usually don't buy me a lot of hunting stuff because I'd rather spend my money on my kids, and I can just make do with what I got, you know. But my wife got me this Stealth Cam, and I really love this thing, you know. If a lot of times I'll go hunting and I'll set this out and, you know, like a field edge that I'm not hunting but I don't really know about, but because I've heard a turkey come from that way or something, you know, just something like that. I'll take, and I got this little stake it's on, you know. I'll take and I'll just set it out there and just see. And if honestly, if there's a turkey go by it, it shoots it to my phone instantly because I just do the pictures. The video takes a couple hours, but I might could make, depending on knowing how I face it, you know, I might can make a move and get around in its way or something. You know, this is an important tool right here, in my opinion. Uh, Never had that happen as far as with turkey, but I have had it happen with deer, where I can make a move on something. You know, I take it deer hunting. Um, but anyways, that's a very important part of my game. I always, if I don't take it, I at least got it in the vehicle. Um, and I don't like to tote it far because it is pretty heavy. So, and I'm one of those guys. I try to keep it as minimalistic as possible. So, speaking of being as minimalistic as possible, decoys. I do not use decoys probably as often as I should. It seems to me like maybe later in the year is better for decoys. I'm not 100% on that. That's just what it seems like to me. And that's because at the start of the year, you know, the gobblers is coming to the call a lot of times. And I don't know. I like doing it without the decoys a lot during early season. But these decoys, I believe they're the cheap, or they are a cheap. I'm pretty sure they're the Flex Stones. It doesn't say on it, or I don't see where it says it on it. But I'm pretty sure they're Flex Stone. You know, they're I like them. I had a decoy before that was like a almost like a rubberized like this, but it would deform anytime I took it anywhere, and I could not make it look real. They looked so realistic, but they would just, and like this half of it would be flat, and this half would be bullshit, and it just didn't look good, especially the Jake decoy. Um, and I don't have a Jake decoy that I like. Maybe I need to get one. I'm not sure. Maybe that'll be what closes the deal on one. I'm not sure. But man, if you're just wanting some hens, I mean, I know that Avian X has decoys out there that look unbelievable, but these have worked so far for me whenever I've used them. I use Actually, we use these on both of those hunts that the I just explained to y'all and the gobbler came in. So, and there wasn't a Jake or a gobbler decoy out there. So maybe there's some validity to it, and I need to start using them more. I'm not sure, but like I said, I didn't even call it that other one. Maybe he's seen the hens and was just coming. I don't know, but I have not used these as much as I need to probably. The reason I don't is I just don't like the totem. That I guess I'm just lazy when it comes to that aspect. Uh, I walk. I will walk a long ways. Me and my buddy, we walked almost 6 miles the other day. Uh, but but for some reason, I just can't make myself take decoys. Which you can't use the decoys right now, anyways, on where we was because we was on public land. So, but those are just cheap flex stones. I don't have no Avian X's. I did buy those. I think they were like $20 or something like that. Okay, for my next thing, I went a long time without a vest. A long time with just a little throw down seat cushion. I threw it down and I kept my calls in my pockets, and I would uh, have that little seat that I just threw down, had my calls in my pockets, and I just took my gun over my shoulder. That was all I did. Uh, it was just fine. I deer hunt to this day like that sometimes if I don't sit in a stand or something. But I kept seeing this, and me be a bigger guy, um, if I don't have a tree to lean back on, it really hurts being a bigger guy. And all you other bigger hunters out there, I know you know what I'm talking about. You get this pain in the lower back, and it'll shoot down into your legs. And man, it's awful. So I seen this Tideway vest on, well, about all social media platforms. I seen the Tideway vest, and it's got that backrest on it. I didn't know how well it would work for me. Didn't know if it would work for me. Knew that it was too expensive for me. Um, but my wife, being an awesome wife, was like, "You ought to get it, Colby. You don't, you know." And I had a vest before this one. It was just a little. I think it was a hunter specialty. It was a good vest. It wasn't a bad vest, but I had to have a tree to lean back on. And I ended up just giving it to my brother because he's a smaller guy and he can sit on it anywhere. But I'm pretty sure my wife told me that I could get this, or that we had nothing to worry about at the time to get this vest. And so I did. And I tell you what, I love it. That backrest is a game changer. And when I say a game changer, I mean it. I can sit down in the middle of a field. I would never do that, but I could. if I wanted to. It's just, how many times you get in a field edge and there's just brush there and there ain't no tree to lean on or something like that. For me, it happens quite often. You hear a gobbler, he's coming to a field. 9 out of 10 times for me, he turns and goes the other way. Uh, Maybe because I was moving because my back was hurting. I don't know. But I've had that vest this year and it has been a game changer. I'm not kidding. That's one thing I would say is that thing has been a game changer. And it really has worked for me. Now, as far as what calls I'm running, let's go with. Actually, let's not go to calls yet. So, unbuckle this, open this up. This little strap right here, it holds in that back piece. You can take that back piece out if you don't want it in there. Nice cushion on the back here. I'm telling you, it really keeps you comfortable. And then, of course, you got the seat. I'll show you in a minute. It's got the seat that folds down that you can sit on too. We'll start over here. Over here, you got these little pockets. It's almost like for calls and stuff. But on this side, I just keep, my sandpaper. I use it for my Brillo pad. I use it for my slate and my striker. I keep them in those two pockets. This pocket right here, I keep my gloves and my mask in, and a little bit of toilet paper. We all been there, so don't act like you hadn't. Matter of fact, while I'm on this topic, real quick, I'm gonna tell you this. I didn't bring my camo out here, but all of my camo is that original Bottomland, that same pattern right there, and it's the mossy oak stuff. I can't remember exactly what it is, but it's real thin. I actually ordered it off the Mossy Oak website and got it, but it's this exact same pattern. It's slick just like this too. I think this comes with it actually. So yeah, that's the camo I got, but I ain't got it out here, so I'm just in my shed, showing y'all what I got. But that's and I keep it on the inside right there. It's bulky, but whenever I get out of the truck and put my vest on, that's the first things I put on. So, in my head net, I wear my face mask around my neck until I get to where I need to pull it up, and then I can just quickly pull it up. And I wear my gloves at all time. Also, I keep a can of Old Grizzly Straight right in there too. I always got my tobacco. That's a bad habit I need to kick. Over here, in my big pocket, right here. I don't keep nothing in this back side. This one's split into two, where that one is just one big one. I don't keep nothing in that back one, but the front one, I keep my shotgun shells. I'll show you those in a minute. I keep my diaphragm calls right here. So I run the Woodhaven, the Hunting Public Alpha. It's a good call, but 9 out of 10 times, this is what I'm using. It's the Woodhaven jackhammer. Love this call. I can make all kinds of different sounds. The teardrop calls, the purrs. I can do all that with that diaphragm call. And the Alpha to me just sounds a little bit more raspier, and it doesn't sound. I'm not saying it's not a good sounding call. It's not a good sounding call coming from my mouth. Everybody's different. To me, I just like the jackhammer, and the cuts are very similar on the reeds, but for some reason, the jackhammer just makes a better sound out of my mouth. So that's what I tend to go with. So I got these pockets covered. We'll go back to this side. You have a pocket here, which I keep some. I'm a diabetic, so I keep some Jolly Ranchers, and nothing right there needs took out. It's melted. Some Jolly Ranchers, some crackers, and stuff like that in that pocket. In this pocket, I don't have nothing that I keep in here. It's made for shotgun shells and stuff. I don't carry that many shotgun shells with me. Like I said, I'm minimalistic, so I don't really ever carry that stuff. This spot right here, I'm a little confused as to if this is your box call slot or if this is your box call slot. Either way, I don't run a box call, so I need one. I'm gonna try to make me one because I'm that guy. I'm a minimalistic dude. I'm gonna try to make me one, but so in this spot, it looks like it's just made perfect for a thermocell. So I just slide my thermocell down in there. Whether if it's made for that or a box call, I'm not sure, but I keep my thermocell in there. Here's where I keep my strikers. So I have 3 strikers. This one is a very good, let me see if I can get a close up of that. It is a Woodhaven Rain Check. It's got this little piece in the end of it, and you can purr so good with that. So that's one that I use. Another Woodhaven one. This is just a classic. I don't know what kind of wood it is, but that's just a regular wooden striker. You know, it gets pretty loud. And then I purchased this one. I really like the little, what do you call that? The fluted end. I liked it and thought it was just a sharp looking striker, so that's why I got it. The reason I run Woodhaven, by the way, is I live in Alabama, and Mike Pentecost and them, they're in Alabama, so that's why I run all Woodhaven stuff. I just try to support my state. They got a big cause. There's nothing wrong with Primos. Ran them for a long time, probably a year or two, and just found out that there was this stuff sold here in Alabama, so that's why I went with it. So if that's a thermocell slot, then this is your box call slot, and I don't run a box call, so there's nothing in there. This pouch, I've got some 20 gauge shot in here, just in case, because sometimes I'll take it. This pocket, well, yeah, I got nothing in there. There's so many pockets in this vest, guys. You got so much room for stuff. It's ridiculous. My back slate call pouch, I run this Hunter Specialty. It's a good call. I like it pretty well. It's not perfect, but it don't sound bad. You can get real quiet with it. So I try not to do a lot of yelping on this call because it kind of sounds rough if you don't do it just right. But it works good when it gets wet. So that's a Hunter Specialty. It's called the Hunter Specialty Strut. I like that call. I don't think there's anything wrong with it. But just like my calls, 9 out of 10 times, I go with my Woodhaven. This is a ceramic fusion. This is what I use 95% of the time. I love this call. I just absolutely love it. It's so it's so smooth and so sweet. I love Woodhaven though. Calls though. Made in Heflin, Alabama. Even comes with this little cover for it. I love that call. So that's got all these pouches. That's it. I keep my Woodhaven call in my front slate pouch. Covered all that. Okay, let's flip this thing around. In the back, here's your seat. You undo this, you know, you got one of those on each side, and then it's still magnetized. So, I mean, and there's some pretty big you can see right there. They're pretty big magnets, you know, and they just, you can fold them up and, you know, if you're in a hurry to get somewhere, and then plop it down and sling it out front whenever you get where you're going. So I'm gonna leave that out front. This is where all the good stuff stays. So in here I run this, I got this blind off of Amazon, and I like it so much because it's so small and compact, and it actually came in a pack of 2. I don't use the other one, I just use the one. Once again, I'm a very minimalistic guy, but it come in a pack of 2. Only thing I don't like about it, I wish it was more green, like my vest, you know. It's kind of dark, which doesn't hurt. It's just, I would prefer for it to be, you know, the mesh is not see-through. So I like that it hides a little bit of movement. But I do like this blind, how it's so small, it just fits in the back. And that's why I don't like carrying my decoys, is because they're realistic. I don't have room for them other than if I tote them in my hand, and I really just can't do that. Also, what fits back here is my gun that I use most of the time. So I use a Charles Daly Pew. I don't want to get in trouble for saying the other word. I run a Charles Daly. It's a 410 turkey gun. It's got a red dot on it. This is a gun that my wife got me, so, and this is the gun that I wanted. It's been Cerakoted so it won't rust. It's a Model 101 410 bore 3-inch. I'm not sure. It's just the regular choke that came in it, the regular turkey choke that came in it. I'm not sure if it says what it is, but I will take it out real quick and we will see if it says on it. So I don't see anything on it. Anyways, it's just the regular, the choke that came with the guns or the pew. So that's all it is. Nothing special. I know one thing. I'll say it's nothing special, but that joker right there holds a tighter pattern at 50 yards than my 12 gauge or my 20 gauge does. And it just folds down so perfect, and it fits into my vest. And the front stock right here has a little recess for the trigger housing and the brake, so it folds up into nothing, literally. It's just a single shot. And that's why I didn't show y'all this. I didn't really want to spoil it. But here's the ammo that shoots best out of my gun, or my pew, whatever. Kind of a little late to change that, I guess. Try to take that price sticker off of there. But I shoot the Federal Premium TSS. 18 grain. What is the 8-shot? There it is. 8-shot, 3-inch, 410, 3-inch, 1100 feet per second, 13/16 ounce, 8-shot TSS. That's what I shoot right there. So I keep those in that quick access area. I think that's all I carry. Also on these, you have a water bottle and holder on each side. Most time I throw a Powerade in there. Like I said, being, a diabetic, that's what I usually do. So that's all my turkey stuff. I'm a very minimalistic person. The stuff that I was telling you about that kind of makes me a different individual is I have bad anxiety a lot of the times, and I have this deer antler. So I'll keep it. It's just a little piece of a deer antler. I just keep it, and it fits so perfect on my hand, and I just rub it. I got ADHD too, so I got to move a lot. And I'll just sit there and rub on it, and I've rubbed that pretty doggone smooth. But a lot of the times, this is with me. If it's not with me, most of the time I'll pick up a rock or something, and I'll just sit there and rub on it. My daughter likes to say it's my good luck stuff. So we'll just sit there, and while I'm waiting, I just rub on it before it gets daylight. I'll just be sitting there rubbing on it. And I got deer antlers laying all over the daggone place. I mean, just everywhere. Stuff I found. I used to have a dog named Zeus. He found one. Tried to train him as a little shed dog, and he found one. And then he ended up. I accidentally. We was coming back from my brother's house, who lives less than a half a mile away from me, and he wouldn't get in the truck. He wanted to run home, which it's a dirt road here. So I was like, okay, well, I let him out. Got in the truck. Was coming back, and I was just assuming he stayed at my brother's because sometimes he likes to hang out over there. Well, I didn't see nothing, and I heard his collar because my window was down. And I asked my wife, I said, where's he at? Next thing you know, I hit him. The best dog I ever had. And I hate to say it, but he didn't make it. But, anyways, he found, I don't know if this is the one, I don't think this is the one. He found I think it was a 4-point side, or an 8-point. The deer was 8 points on, like if you have both sides, but the one side that he found was 4. So, another thing I like to carry, I carry a little block of wood with me. This one I was working on carving a little dude into it. Because if I'm not rubbing my little antler, I'll take a piece of wood like that and I'll carve it. So in order for that to happen, I also have to have a knife. I'm a big fan of the Moore knives. I use it for literally everything. I got 2 of these. My wife uses the other one in the kitchen, and it's just black. But I am a big fan of Moore knives. And these are stainless steel, so they will never rust. While I'm on that topic, that's the main reason I need a blind, is to hide all my movement, because I move a lot. Not like my upper body, but I'll be sitting there, with this down in my lap or something, and I'll just be doing this a whole lot of the time. Just sitting there, just whittling away, or carving away, whatever you want to call it. I'm not no professional at it or nothing, but I do like to do it whenever I'm in the woods. I don't ever do it at home. I just do it while I'm in the woods. But anyways, to keep my knives nice and sharp, sometimes I'll use this old Whetstone. It's an old one. But my dad gave me this years ago, and it's something that I will cherish when he's not around anymore. I will never lose this, hopefully. I use that sometimes, and when I don't use that, I have this little Work Sharp knife sharpener. And these are pricey, but man, are they worth their weight in gold. Holy cow. I love the far out of this thing. So you just set it up, and it gives you set it to the angle, and you just go at it, and it basically does everything for you, I guess. This right here will get it to a fine edge. Really fine. But anyways, that's my stuff. That's my unique setup. I hope y'all enjoyed that. And in the morning, I am going, April 7th, I am going to get on recording my first turkey hunt to upload to YouTube. And hopefully get my first turkey and my first turkey on video and have my first hunting video upload. So, with that being said, I will see y'all in the morning. Thank you.